That was unexpected, but that was totally expected. More about that in a minute. This is Formlabs Creator Tough Resin. It's a resin that Formlabs has created to work with non-Formlabs printers. In this video, I'll be running my usual toughness test to see how it stands up to impacts and compression, and then I'll also be introducing a new test to see how it holds up under a static weight. And yeah, this thing is heavy. Formlabs did send me this resin for testing for free, but they had no say in how I was going to test it, and the models here are all my own, so this review is my opinion on how I use the resin for projects that I like to make. I also need to commend Formlabs for making this resin with a particular focus on consumer safety. This is the first time that I've become aware of a chemical called ACMO that resin makers use to achieve certain properties like shorter print times and to reduce cost. Creator Tough contains no ACMO, so it should be safer to use. But it does have one property that I found a bit difficult to work with, and I'll come back to that later. Formlabs provides what they call free validated settings based on testing of a number of different printers. And one of those printers that they test happens to be the Anycubic Photon D2 DLP printer. And that's convenient because I have one of those right there. And that means that I was actually able to test those settings with a D2 printer. The recommended settings for normal exposure on the D2 are 9.5 seconds. But I found that I could get very printable results in a range from 6.5 to 8.25 seconds. And on the Anycubic Photon M7, which is that one just over there, I found that the range was 6.5 to 10.25 seconds. And in the end, based on my examination of all of the different print tests that I did, I settled on 8.25 seconds. Now on the D2, I also had to reduce the base exposure from the recommended 45 seconds all the way down to 20 seconds because otherwise the prints were virtually impossible to remove from the build plate. So I printed the part that I use for all my toughness testing. My initial reaction was that the resin prints with good resolution and great surface finish. Overall, it looked very good, and I had success on the first print. The supports came off easily, and the final finish was smooth and consistent. The color was a different gray to what I'm used to, but that's totally subjective. Now the resin claims to be semi-flexible, and I think you can kind of get a feel for that when you handle it. Now I know that that doesn't sound very scientific, but after having tested many different tough resins, I reckon you can start to develop a sense of how they might perform. And on the first drop test, well, yes, this resin is what you would call semi-flexible. Where some resins will withstand seemingly endless blows from this hammer drop test, this Creator Tough resin just isn't made for this type of treatment. Now it definitely has some flex in it, and you'll see that in the bridge tests, but it doesn't handle this kind of impact on this print. The vice test was similar. Now, I know it's going to break, but it's how it breaks that's of interest. I was surprised to see just how much pressure it could take before breaking, but then it did break suddenly. Other resins break much more gently, or they just simply kind of squish up. So this resin is definitely more on the brittle side of tough, can I put it that way? Now to the bridge test. I designed this bridge as a demo for a grade 9 engineering studies class. The students were working with balsa wood, but I used this as an opportunity to show them what it was like to design and make in resin. It's based on a simple concrete beam bridge design and printed in 3 parts to span 600 millimeters. Now this print almost maxed out the build size of the M7, and it was good to do a test of this print size and print time as well, because it took quite a long time. The result was very good. It also took up most of the space in my curing station. The individual parts were rigid enough to hold their shape, which is important for prints with straight lines and flat surfaces that need to fit together. There was good flex in the deck section, and I thought this performed quite well given that it's only 1.5 millimeters thick. To assemble the bridge, I glued the sections with Gorilla Glue, and the sections are made with a 0.1 millimeter tolerance, and this was quite tight, but they did fit together, which indicated good print dimensional accuracy. I did get one small chip on one of the connecting pieces, but I don't think that would have affected the strength too much for this type of testing. The gap between the parts is actually designed in and intended to show the use of expansion joints in a bridge. Now I would have liked to drive a real truck over the bridge, but that wouldn't really be fair. Instead, I'm using this weight, which is a piece of steel billet that weighs 35 kilograms. Now this thing is seriously heavy to lift. The original brief to students was to span 600 millimeters, so I've made this jig to simulate that distance. Under a static dead weight, you can see that the print does actually flex quite a bit and it holds its shape. So when the resin is designed into a structure that is itself designed to take weight, that is, a bridge, then it works quite well as a functional resin. Even when the weight was moved to a vertical position to create more of a point source, it held up quite well. But what if the weight is dropped? Well, of course it's going to break. But the pieces that were left still showed good flex across that thin deck section of the bridge. And of course, it totally makes sense that this will perform better when specific attention is given to the design itself. Now, this resin is also much more flexible with smaller parts. These are the supports that are removed from the bridge section prints. And you can see that they can be bent and twisted into different directions much more successfully. Now, they will of course also break, but you can see that for smaller and lighter applications, this would work quite well, like for little things that sort of protrude off minis. At the beginning, I did mention one property that I had some trouble with. The resin states that it has ultra low odor. Now, I wouldn't describe it that way. I actually found the odor to be very strong. So strong, in fact, that I couldn't be in my workshop here when I was printing. But according to Formlabs, other people who've tested this resin haven't had the same issues. So maybe that's just me. So in my testing of Creator Tough, I found that the resin is certainly what I'd call a functional resin, although it didn't handle the impact testing that I need for one of my main applications. You might find that a less flexible or semi-flexible tough resin works better for you, where holding the intended shape is more important than something like impact resistance or super flexibility. I should also say that this review has taken me much longer to produce than usual, given that I've got a few other things going on right now. And I do apologize sincerely to Formlabs for that. I really am so sorry. I've got a couple of other Formlabs products here to test, and I'm planning on getting to those very soon. And if you got value out of watching those tests, then it'd be great if you could like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that gives you an idea as to whether Formlabs Creator Tough Resin could be a resin for you. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.